OCD recovery has got to be the absence of chronic anxiety and the absence of chronic guilt. And OCD recovery is something where you don't care. If the person really cares, like they're so caring about OCD recovery, they usually haven't recovered. Like if I got triggered now, and so, say someone walked in here and said to me, look, Rob, you're going to have OCD at 20 to 30% chronic anxiety for the rest of your life. I wouldn't really care. I would be annoyed because obviously this position's a lot better, but I wouldn't think that's horrendous, because I lived with 70, 80%, and I still went to cinema, I still went for dinners, I still went on dates, I still traveled, I still did all this stuff with it there. So it's that massive over-exaggeration of how bad that experience is that we all get into and then blow it completely out of proportion. And we want this, I've got to get it down 5%, I want 0% anxiety, I don't want my life having any anxiety. But think of people with other illnesses. Think of grandmothers, 80 years old, blind in one eye, chronic back pain, going to be dead possibly in 5 years, and they're happy to see their grandkids, they're happy to see their family, and they still have a lovely day, because they are not putting expectations on their life at the level that we're putting them on now. It's our demanding. That's why it's so important to look at people surviving so many really challenging illnesses, and they're handling that and they're accepting that. And with us, what we're often doing is we have these memories of how bad OCD and anxiety was in the past. And we're like, I don't want to ever be like that again. I don't want to ever have anything affect me like that again. I don't want to ever have my life disrupted with any psychological disturbance in any way. And that is setting up OCD like a red rag to a bull, because it loves that. So you want to get used to, and why I coined that phrase, bring it for the ride, is because bringing it for the ride is living your life even with anxiety there. I still had some of my best days when I was really anxious, right? So, and we all did. We all have, but we forget them. We've still had amazing days when we're really anxious. If you won the lottery right now, even when you're feeling really anxious, you'd feel happy and anxious. That's another myth. People think that happiness equals the absence of anxiety. That's not true. People would have still laughed and still been happy in war zones and in concentration camps at periods of the time. Of course, there's many stories of those moments. People laugh in horrendous situations. People laugh on death row, because it's our perception, and that's a good thing about laughter, and why I encourage it so much in our groups, and why I built the groups, because I wanted to sort of inject that laughing thing, because it snaps us out of things. It's like this sudden change in emotional state. Laughter is so key. It really sort of kicks things up a gear. And that's why I built that, because with OCD, it's such a nightmare in the sense of feeling like you're completely lost, you're completely alone, nobody understands. So making friends and laughing with them is normal life and normal social interaction. And that really helps with everything, especially with this disorder. So key with this. And I think you need to remember that, because when you're with your family, with anyone, ask them how they are, joke with people, try and engage, even if you feel like you're on death row inside with chronic guilt, even if you feel like the world's not real because of solipsism, existential OCD, any of these things, because OCD is always trying to jump itself to the right front of the list of this needs attention right now. And you've got the choice to say, actually, I'm putting my life here, me, in the driving seat, and my life in the driving seat, and I'm going to live how I want to live, and it can come along for the ride, okay? And that recovery is about building that sort of confident, robust approach. It isn't being emotionless. That's another myth about OCD recovery. It's not about being emotionless or not caring or losing any of that. It's about being confident and facing fears and just going out and grabbing your life back. And I passionately say that because I know that, because I have been through that and I've seen thousands go through that. So it's very much that case. For so long we've been running. For so long we've been doing everything to push it away. We've been saying, no, go away. I don't want to be anxious. I don't want to be stuck. Anything but this. That's what we've been doing. Everything to escape that sensation, that feeling, just anything, or the disorder altogether. You see that all the time. People are, right, I'm going to unfollow this account, I'm going to log out of this, I'm never going to talk about OCD. That's avoidance, okay? You don't need to be checking every single account, but you can't avoid, and then expect to be recovered. You can't run from OCD. You can't run from you. It's like trying to run from your shadow. It does not work, okay? So that's key, because that's something I did initially. I don't want to hear about OCD. I don't want a job to do with OCD. I used to avoid jobs that just felt negative, like environments that felt a bit negative. I used to think, no, I want to be in a job that's always in a happy environment, because I've had so much trouble and hard times in my life with negative emotions. I want to do everything to escape that. And so my whole life structure was avoiding. Oh, I shouldn't do weights in the gym that are too heavy in case my heart rate goes too high and then I have a heart attack. Oh, I mustn't drink more than this. I'm talking about still within safe parameters, because then I might feel out of control, and then all of these other problems, right? So little variations of our life where it's trying to alter and tweak and change how we operate constantly, right? So it's going to do that. It's going to do that in so many ways.